I'm trying out a Krookodile team that I saw by Jonkus, and so pretty much I was saying in my last video I kind of dropped a little bit in the elo, and on the weekends I haven't really been playing since it's my family time that I'm spending, and pretty much I tried using Krookodile a little bit earlier, which dropped me a lot, but I was running with Snarl and Earthquake, and I saw him running Mud Slap plus Brick Break, and I was like, yo, this actually would make way more sense in this format, because people are going to be shielding Brick Break when they don't really need to, and the defense drops from Brick Break actually help Krookodile really output a lot of damage. So I know this is probably going to go up like right as Halloween Cup is ending, I think, if I'm not mistaken. It ends today. I honestly have not been paying attention to the cycle at all, like what's coming up. But yeah, for the most part, this team actually felt pretty good, and I wanted to show some of my sets. I'm not going to show all of them because I didn't want to make a super long video when the format, if I'm correct, is ending today. But yeah, I had some really nice sets and got some of my elo back that I dropped. And yeah, it's a Toxapex lead with Alolan Raticate, and ideally if you had a Shadow Alolan Raticate that you could purify and get return on it versus Hyper Fang, that could be better. I was even thinking maybe having something like Hyper Beam could be good, but like Hyper Fang doesn't do a crazy amount of damage, but to be fair, there are scenarios where you don't really just need to do a lot of damage, you just need to be able to go off charge moves that do good neutral damage. And Hyper Fang is actually a pretty good medium ground. So yeah, I get a Charger Bug lead here in this battle against the Toxapex, and that's not like the best scenario for me, but I'm actually going to just stay in and take the first move and try to get off a Sludge Wave on Charger Bug here. Just try to get off any type of damage, and they do end up shielding, which is great, and they switch out, which... Oh yeah, I switched out, excuse me. I switched into Krookodile right after the Sludge Wave, and that's why they switched. And this is a scenario where I might actually be able to flip this if I... just because of Brick Break. And I make the call to not shield the first one. I had a feeling they might try to bait me, knowing that I'm more than likely gonna shield. So I just made the risk call. It actually pays off significantly here. And now they actually bring in Drapion. I don't know, that was like an interesting scenario for them to just... Maybe they thought I was going to throw Brick Break. I don't know what was going on there. But I'm just going to save my shield. And I'm going to bring in Raticate now and just take the moves. I think I saw it has Crunch and Discharge. So I knew that I wasn't really afraid of getting hit by any moves with Raticate. So I'm just going to build energy. Sack Toxapex here. And yeah, pretty much I can just double Hyper Fang here in the final. Yeah, so this is pretty good. Yeah, Raticate actually has some pretty decent matchups, the Alolan version, excuse me, in this format. I don't always like using Toxapex, but it is pretty solid. I mean, it's one of those Pokemon you just kind of have to be patient with. It doesn't really output a lot of damage. It's kind of like just the bulk of it allows you to get off more damage over time. So yeah, it's pretty good. And Ariados here, not like the best case scenario for me with Toxapex lead. They do go for the lunges, and I decided to switch in Krookodile to try to I guess try to scare it out, and they end up going for a lunge, and I'm like, whatever, it's fine. A big reason why I do this too is because I want to bait out any type of fairy type Pokemon they might have in the back line, because as you can tell, having two dark types in the back aren't going to really appreciate a Wigglytuff. Azumarill not necessarily as scary, because Raticate has neutral damage on it at least, and is pretty bulky, can even take one play rough if really needed. But this is good because now I can just tank these moves from Azu and just farm down. They end up having this Venusaur in the back, and I go for the Brine, excuse me, which, you know, it's good they shielded, I guess, because they could have just not shielded that, and maybe that could have been bad. But now I go for a Crunch, and they do commit the shield, which is looking pretty good for me because that defense drop could be relatively significant. They do end up catching my move though on Azu, which honestly would probably, I think that actually makes a pretty significant change in this fight. I think here too I switch out wrong, potentially. Yeah, I think I should have just maybe even thrown the crunch on Ariados potentially. I'm trying to, do I win this? I don't, wait, maybe I just barely win this actually with the Hyper Fang. There is one where I kind of just barely lose here in this set due to a nice catch. Oh no, it's a tie, that's what it was. That's right, that was a tie. GG's. Also, if you're liking this video, please hit the like button. It does help out my content a lot here on YouTube. And also a reminder that I'm going to put a link also to Jonkus' video in the description. But I actually released for Halloween a punk cover of Lavender Town. So I'll put a link to that also in my description of the video. And definitely check it out if you're interested in hearing some of my music. I have more of it uploaded on my channel as well and on Spotify. But yeah, so for the most part, we are in a pretty decent scenario here. They're bringing Toxapex. Yo, the Krookodile honestly is amazing with the Brick Break because it has a lot of attack. Its offense is not that great. I mean, excuse me, its defense is not that great. Excuse me for misspeaking. So that in itself can be a little problematic being so frail, but at the same time it seems to work out relatively good with this combo in this cup, with all these poison types running around and all the ghost types too, and poison, because being ground and dark allows Krookodile to resist a lot of these different moves that are very common in the format. And there's also the occasional electric types with Charger Bug, Morpeko, and I mean, it's not an electric type, but I've seen Fortress with Volt Switch in this format as well. Okay, so I get a Shadow Drifblim lead here, so I'm going to just safe swap into Alolan Raticate. Typically, Raticate is my safe swap in these battles. I mean, there's definitely some scenarios where if they switch before me and I know that Krookodile can just switch in on it and pretty much win the switch, I'll bring a Krookodile there, but majority of the time when I'm playing this team, I'm using the Alolan Raticate as a safe swap designated. And here we go, here's that Volt Switch Fortress, which interesting enough actually can be relatively good against this line just because its typing, its bulk, and its move coverage is kind of unique. With the Volt Switch, it allows it to kind of do a little bit more against Toxapex, and obviously Earthquake's gonna chunk a decent amount against Toxapex. But yeah, I get a nice shield here against the Drifblim with the Brick Break, which is what I was kind of talking about, is a lot of times they're just gonna shield regardless because maybe they're not too familiar with this matchup, and also they might not even realize what type of moveset Krookodile has as well. So I do take the Icy Wind nicely here, and yeah, at this point it's looking pretty good for me because even if they throw an Earthquake into Toxapex, I'm totally cool with that. I can just save my shield for Krookodile and get to that crunch and finish off the... I actually let Toxapex die here instead of trying to get off damage on Fortress. And yeah, I can just crunch now into Drifblim, and that's going to be a GG. Yeah, there we go. Another W. Let's see. So yeah, that was a technically it's 4 wins and a tie that first set, which is pretty good. Guzzlord lead. So pretty much the way I've been playing this one out is I'll just go for the Sludge Wave and then switch into Alolan Raticate to catch a move or force them to switch at that point. And in this scenario, they do end up just switching instead of throwing any energy. I guess they want to preserve it. But that's okay because I'm not particularly afraid of the Shadow Muck. And they take the first move, I'll take the first one. I get that defense drop, which allows me to kind of go for this farm down, which is kind of risky, but at the same time, I'm just going to be able to pull it off because of that defense drop primarily. In comes Guzzlord. I'm going for the Hyper Fang first because they might think I'm going for Crunch Bait. And I don't know what they were doing. I think they may have just been panicking on what to do, but they wasted all their energy. I just removed Guzzlord entirely. And yeah, Tentacruel in the back line can't do much against Krookodile. Yo, this is insane. I haven't seen this thing. I don't even know how to say this thing. Name. Like, whatever. The one generation of Pokemon I never finished beating the game is Pokemon Sun and Moon. Because that was when I was moving to Los Angeles, like 2015. Yeah, like till end of 2015. I still have it on my DS here. I think I'm like halfway through the trials or whatever, but a lot of the Ultra Beasts, I never really got to play them in that game particularly. But in Sword and Shield, yeah. But this Pokemon, I honestly, like, I've seen it in VGC in the past, but yeah, this is pretty spicy. I feel like that thing. But I'm just gonna go for the Brick Breaks here in the Azu, lower defense on it, and they end up having Charger Bug here in the back. So this is looking kind of scary. But if I can somehow get fortunate with catching a move on Raticate here, this could be good for me. So I'm gonna go for the Sludge Wave, do some damage, and I need to catch the move here, and fortunately I do time it properly and I catch that move, and that allows me to go for the farm down on Charger Bug, and it's pretty much game at this point because Ozzy is not going to be able to flip the Toxapex matchup before I Sludge Wave it. So GG's, great lead from me with Wigglytuff here. And this is this is an example of a mistake I make. So I'm so not used to seeing Morpeko here in this format, and Krookodile would have been the perfect switch in on this just to completely remove Morpeko and then win switch, and then I'll just, you know, continue alignment for the match because I'm pretty sure they have Clodsire in the back, which Alolan Raticate can actually do a pretty good job at dealing with. It's not, I don't know, it's not even necessary I have to flip it, I just have to at least chip a decent amount of damage on it for Toxapex to just kind of finish up the match. But yeah, I made a really bad mistake here, and I do feel like it cost me, but you'll see that even though I do make that mistake, I end up getting really close here with the W. But yeah, unfortunately, I kind of panicked, and I was not really, it was more, you know, it was just so fast, right? You know, not expecting it. I saw the electric, but as it registered in my brain, I've already safe swapped because I've been trying to just designate the safe swap. This is one of those battles that I realized when I was playing. I have to kind of be a little more patient, and there's going to be times Krookodile will actually make more sense to switch in. Like if I'm switching out on a bad lead, Raticate probably designated. If my opponent switches out, it's worth being more patient because I have Double Dark in the back. So regardless, a lot of times in these scenarios, it's like a fairy type lead that they're switching out like that. But yeah, this battle still gets super close. I think it is like 1 HP in a dream here. It just barely lives. Yeah, even with like the missed call, I think on my end, it still got really close. Alright, Shadow Tentacruel lead. This was kind of an interesting battle because I was kind of impressed by how much this Shadow variant of this Pokemon can do against the Toxapex, because I'm someone that really likes playing Tentacruel in Great League, but I've never played the Shadow variant. And a lot of times with the Toxapex matchup, it's a lot harder to pull off just due to the bulk of Toxapex. But in this scenario, I'm like, wow, this Tentacruel is like chunking a lot of damage on me. It's kind of impressive. I'm just going to bring Krookodile here to farm it a little. And fortunately for me, they have something like the Shadow Scissor here in the back. Brick Break is going to come in clutch in this type of match because now I can just shield once. And even though I have no more shields, I'll actually have a Brick Break loaded for the backline, which is Grimer, which actually can be extremely scary here. Like Shadow Grimer with Mud Slap, I think is what it has, Mud Slap and Mud Bomb. Actually kind of scary. Maybe it's Mud Shot on Grimer. I can't remember. But regardless, this Pokemon's actually kind of insane in this format. It felt like when I saw it originally, I was like, okay, I'm gonna win this. And then as it played, I was like, dang, this thing is actually hitting me super hard. And fortunately, I was able to just barely win there because a mud bomb would have absolutely destroyed me and demolished me there. So there we go. As you can see, Wigglytuff lead, they switch out, and this is definitely a good matchup for me to just bring in Alolan Raticate as the safe swap. Going for that crunch, and yeah, pretty much it's just going to be a good... I'm going to be able to flip this. I can just take these moves. I'm not too concerned about it. I mean, I'm trying to generate a little bit of extra energy because I figured at this point, I want to just take advantage of the fact that they can't throw another charge move and I can resist the fast attack. Just going to throw that crunch into Wiggly, and you know, it doesn't matter if I do or not, but the defense drop does make it a little scarier for it to stay in, but they're going to switch out regardless. And this is another reason why the Brick Break Krookodile is actually really nice, because I can flip these Golurk matchups, and even if they don't shield the Brick Break or whatever, it's still good. But yeah, that's a 4-1 set to end, and it could have been a 5-0. Even like the first one was pretty close to a 5-0. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, the Sass Squad is getting stronger each and every day. Good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you're tuning in. I'll catch you in the next one. If you'd like to watch more Go Battle League content from me, consider watching this video right here or this video right here.